And so go out there and live your life with joy, appreciate the things that you have, and reject the idea that the world is a dark and terrible place.
Hi, welcome to Simply Intentional. My name is Katie. I'm on a journey to live my most fulfilling life and hopefully inspire others to do the same. Come along as I figure out my 30s one day at a time, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my adventures.
Oh, well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, if you are new, it is lovely to have you here. We are well into March now, trucking along through the year, which is slightly wild. I actually have my first vacation coming up soon in a couple weeks, and I can't wait. So you will probably get a vlog of that trip. I'm gonna go see my family on the East Coast and see some friends, and I'm really looking forward to it. We are finally not super freezing anymore. It's still gray and raining because I live on the West Coast, and that's what we do here. But today what I want to talk to you about is using joy as an act of resistance to understand that we are the people that construct our own reality, and that we can truly enjoy our lives and still be passionate about causes. And I genuinely believe that if we can use like radical acts of joy in our personal lives, then we're going to be better able to impact the causes that are most important to us and really contribute in a meaningful and intentional way to those around us. So to get a little backstory, this whole thing with gratitude and experiencing joy really started for me as a way to work on my anxiety. I used to have like pretty bad anxiety. I've never been like clinically diagnosed or anything like that, but I struggled with anxiety, like, you know, especially new tasks and things like that. Like with something that I didn't know, I would go into it super anxious, and 99% of the time it was fine. I even like had a great time once I was involved in the task or whatever it was that I had to do. And I really just wanted to combat that because I was stealing joy from myself with not being able to look forward to things, to being really bad at like plans changing, and I'm still not great when plans change, but I'm working on that. But I really just wanted to stop stressing out all the time over things that I had no control over. And, you know, the journey that I've been on the last few years, this was definitely like a key component of it. And I just started trying to appreciate what I had and really internalizing that when I get anxious about something, it was never really warranted. I usually was just stressing myself out, ruining my mornings before I had to go and do something, or hyping something up in my head. And it was really interesting because like experiences that I have all the time that stress other people out, I don't care about, like 15-hour flight, going across the international borders, customs, all that stuff, doesn't bother me because I've done it before. But like going to an exercise class that I voluntarily signed up for, that I know I'm going to enjoy, terrible, would have ruined my morning. And that wasn't healthy, and I wasn't being true to myself, and I wasn't like allowing myself to really just exist and experience what was happening in the moment because I was so focused on what might happen later. And I think that's a really important part of it, is that when we are able to start to live in the moment and we are able to start appreciating what's happening, and even just calm down and like drink a cup of coffee and like not stress out about what's happening later, we can begin to appreciate all the things we do have in our lives, and we can begin to really internalize that things are good and that we can experience joy every day. And one thing for me that I really I throw out there as a joke, but it is really true, is I want to experience like childlike wonder every day at least once. And this is sort of building on that idea that I brought up last week in the Lucky Girl Syndrome video, is that we create our own reality. And if you can understand that, you know, things are good and that things are going to be okay, then you can start to experience what I like to call radical joy. And what this does is this helps you build the idea that you are worthy of good things, that your life is good. And the way that this can be an act of resistance works in a couple of different ways. Obviously, to go back to my old standby favorite topic, capitalism, if you're able to appreciate what you have, you're able to appreciate the things that are going on in your life, then you will be less susceptible to the constant barrage we have of negative news, of being marketed to because we're not good enough, our body isn't good enough, our home isn't good enough, we need new XYZ. And it helps you to disengage from that, which also then compounds the idea that you are worthy and that your life is good and that we do have good things going on. And the next part of that is when we are able to recognize that a lot of the time the things we're seeing in the news are sensationalized, and the things that we see as like societal epidemics and all these things, well, they're very serious and they are real. They're sensationalized through the news to create fear. Because if you're afraid and you are struggling and you are constantly told that everything's awful, there isn't really anything you can do about it, then you're going to believe that there isn't anything that you can do about it. And when you're so concerned, we begin to feel like we're not safe. And that safety is really what's going to let you utilize your skills and your passion and your joy to better help other people. Because when we are able to recognize all of the lovely privileges that we have living in North America for the most part, then we're able to see that we do have the time and the skills and the resources to help our community. And if we are able to go about that with compassion and joy and understanding and kindness, it's more helpful to the people that we're trying to help, because we are able to have full cups with which to pour from. You know, you have this idea you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you are scared and you are angry, and there are lots of things in this world that we should be scared and angry about, but your life shouldn't be one of them. You should be able to build a life that is safe and intentional and are structured around your own values and not structured around the idea that you must constantly be accumulating and that everyone around you is competition. And that's another important part, is that when we are able to just relax and enjoy what we have and enjoy our community and enjoy our neighbors, then we are able to recognize that we are safe. The people around us are not competition, they are our community. And then we can create a space where we invite more people into that community. And I think part of the narratives that we see is this divisiveness, and I think that we find, like, obviously there are people on extremes of both sides that we probably can't converse with rationally, but most people just want the same things. They want to have a safe place for them and their family. They want to go to work and have that be meaningful work. They want to be able to have that work then buy them the necessities of life and some fun stuff too, and be part of community and building their own knowledge base and their own skills and growing constantly. That we're human beings, right? We have these internal drives where we want a good life. And that's going to look different for everyone, but I think so many of us are struggling against these ideas of what we should be doing and these things we see through movies and television and book of like ideal lives, and we feel like we're inadequate because we don't have that, and then you are not able to look around you and see that you have great stuff. And I understand there's lots of people in this world struggling, and I understand that like there are struggles that I don't face. I don't have a ton of financial responsibilities because I don't have children or any of those things, and I'm very fortunate in like where I grew up and how I grew up and those kinds of things. And I think though, for most people that are watching this kind of content, whether you are beginning your journey, whether you're, you know, just looking for helpful tips, whatever it is, we are clearly similar in some ways, that we have the free time and the emotional capacity and the interest in these subjects. And this is where the responsibility and joy, which I'm going to build on next week, is when we can appreciate what we have, then we are so much more equipped to demonstrate and instruct that for other people. I am by no means an expert. I am by no means saying that my experience is universal, but you woke up in a bed today. You woke up in a house that was probably relatively safe. You had food in your fridge, you had clothes to put on. And I think that we take this all for granted. And you're like, oh, my clothes are old. You know, I don't have like whatever you think you're supposed to be eating, kale, whatever. I had kale for breakfast because I'm not a fun person. But you know, we have a lot. And I think that we need to appreciate that and resist the notion that you're not enough. Resist the notion that you right now, while you're taking the baby steps to live more intentionally and live with more joy and help build stronger communities, like we need that. And it's so important to just sit back one morning. If you wake up stressed out, pissed off, like sit down with your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, whatever you're drinking, and just look around. Think of 3 things about your life that you love. Think about your friends, your family. Maybe you love your couch, maybe you love your cats, who knows? But start doing that. Do it every day. And when you're out at the beach, when you're out doing whatever it is you're doing, just sit there for a minute and think about, like, you're on a rock hurtling through space, looking at something beautiful. And that's wild, like, just to even be aware of the universe as a whole and all this kind of stuff. And it's, these ideas get very like esoteric really quickly, and I understand that, but I want so much for you to be able to experience your life with joy and understand, like, while you can be interested in growing spiritually, emotionally, living more in tune with your own values, you're not actually a self-improvement project. And if you just simply wanted to exist as you are now, but you were able to do that with authentic happiness, then that's perfect too. And so go out there and live your life with joy, appreciate the things that you have, and reject the idea that the world is a dark and terrible place. Are there terrible things happening? Yes, but I don't think they're fundamental to human nature. This is something that I bring up a lot, and it's the idea, oh, well, you know, the world won't change because human beings are inherently selfish or society is inherently dark, and it's not. It may be currently structured that way, but we're also making assumptions about our behavior and our experiences as a society that's under duress. And I think that there is good in everyone, and there is good out in the world. And when we are faced with dark topics, and we are faced with dark issues, I'm not going into them angry. I'm going into them with the belief that we can make things better. I'm going into it with the belief that we have enough for all the people around us. We just need to disengage from the idea that the world is a bad place, that everyone around us is our competition, and that there isn't enough for everyone, because there is enough for everyone. You know, and this is something I've thrown around a lot. Food is free until you put a fence around it, right? But that's true of everything. If we can open ourselves up to other people, open ourselves up to the world and the beauty and the wonderful things that we can have in our lives, they will come to you, and then you can give them back to other people. Alright guys, well that's what I have for you this week. This was kind of a rambling one. I'm trying to like pull some threads together over the next little bit, just to like build on some ideas that I've had before. And I know these topics are getting like a little bit more like woo-woo or spiritual, but that's kind of the direction my thoughts are going, and this is my channel, and basically this is my spoken word journal that you are all coming along on the ride for, so you're welcome. Anyways, I am hopefully gonna have another video for you next week about how responsibility and personal responsibility is a part of joy and a part of these acts of resistance. And I hope you will check that one out. I've got my last video linked here for you. Please like the video if you liked it. Comment down below if there's anything you want me to talk about, or if you think I'm insane and wrong, because that'd be fun too. And subscribe if you want to see more. I'll catch you in the next one.